صدري قرآن املأ قلبي قرآن واسق حياتي.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters. Welcome to Ask Musleh. So today's question comes from a sister asking, what are my rights in terms of a mahar or a dowry or that wedding gift that's given or that's mandatory from the husband? First and foremost, the first right that you have when it comes to the mahar is that you actually get a mahar. Allah says in the Quran, وَآتُوا النِّسَاءَ صَدَقَاتِهِنَّ نِحْلًا. So Allah Azza wa Jal orders the men to give the women the sadaqat. The sadaqat, of course, is another term that refers to the mahar. And then Allah Azza wa Jal, this is your second right, mentions that this sadaqat or this mahar has to be given to you and it has to be nihla. The word nihlatun means freedom. It means that it's got to be your own choice and you have to be happy with it. So clearly this verse is saying that it's not the husband that chooses the mahar for you. It's not your mom and dad that says to you, he's got to give you $10,000, he's got to give you a home, he's got to give you a car. They don't have any say when it comes to the mahar except you, the wife. It's all about you. It's all about her. This is actually a gift that Allah Azza wa Jal gives the wives. So take advantage of it. And what I mean when I say that is, don't just become extravagant with the whole thing, but be very happy and be very proud that Allah is gifting you with something for your marriage. So what should you do? Here's your next right when it comes to the mahar. So you know that it's an order from Allah. You know you deserve this mahar and it's your right. You know that you should be happy with it. So what do you ask for? Well, there are two types of mahar in the Sharia. The first one is actually a materialistic object. So you can ask for a gift, you can ask for money based on the husband and his capabilities and his circumstance. So keep that in mind. Don't just go to your poor husband, that's barely getting by with a minimum wage job or something and say, look, I want you to give me $10,000. You got to ask for something that you know he's able to give you and it's easy for him to provide for you. So that's the first thing. You actually get an actual gift in your hand. Or you can go to the second type of mahar. The second type of mahar is really interesting because this is a service that your husband can provide for you. The evidence for this is a man who came to the Prophet ﷺ and he wanted to marry a woman, but he was so poor. Imagine, this companion was so poor, all he owned was just a metal ring that was wrapped around his finger. So the Prophet ﷺ asked him if he knew any Quran. So the man said, yes, I know these surahs. And then the Prophet ﷺ says, teach your wife those surahs and that will be the mahar. The point is that now the Prophet ﷺ tells this man, look, what you can do is you can provide a service to her, and as long as she's happy with that service, then inshallah this counts as a mahar. So if you put that in our times today, basically, for the sisters, you can ask your husband, look, I want you to cook for me for 6 months. I don't ever want to cook at all. Or I want you to cut the grass, or I want you to do this, or clean the house, something. But whatever it is, he provides a service for you, inshallah. So those are your rights when it comes to the mahar. Remember, it's yours. It's your choice. Be happy with it. Make sure that you get the mahar. Make sure that you also agree on a time period. So don't just say, you're going to give me the mahar and you have as long as you want. The point is, if you do that, then the guy might say, okay, well, if I have as long as I want, I'll give you the mahar about 30 years later, inshallah, if we're still together. You want to put a time limit on things. So you can say to them, look, treat the mahar like a contract. Give me the mahar and you have like 2 years. Is 2 years good for you? And he says, okay, 2 years is the deadline. If he doesn't do that, well, that's a whole nother issue that we can talk about at another time. However, inshallah, I hope this helps and it answers the question of your rights when it comes to the mahar. May Allah Azza wa Jal make it easy for all of you. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.